Sonny Donnelly, IFL TV in association with MGM Marbella. I'm on the road today with Kevin Mitchell and we're going to be talking about everything from 2003 when you made your debut at the Goresbrook Arena until in May when you fought at the O2. Kev, it's been a long road, you've had many ups and downs, but we're driving around now where it all started in Dagenham. How did you get into boxing and how did you first start?
Basically I was a young kid with my dad, around my dad's house, messing about with gloves, an aggressive young kid, watching the likes of Nigel Benn, Nazim Hamed, Chris Eubanks, Frank Bruno's. I was a big fan of Nigel Benn's, Nazim Hamed, and basically they give me a dream of a kid, as a young kid who just want to be like they was and who they was. I just see Nigel, photos of Nigel in his Jeep, his nice clothes, and so as Naz had been a nice car. And see them knocking people around TV and seeing their characters, and I just think I want to be there, that's what I want.
What was the first gym you went to and who took you there?
I went to a gym in Dagenham. It was Bobby Unwin's gym. A guy called Jamie Williams took me there. It was my sister's boyfriend at the time when I was about 10 years of age. That was the first gym I walked into. It was a pro gym. And I don't forget, a guy called Jason Ratcliffe was on the pads with Bobby. And he gave me a pair of gloves, Bobby, and a skipping rope, a leather skipping rope with one handle, one missing. And it was a Charlie Magri skipping rope. And I was on a workout at the gym there and then from there he sent me down to a gym in Hornchurch. That's how I started.
What sort of buzz did you get when he was giving you the skip rope and you were lacing the gloves for the first time?
It's just all new to me, you know. It's all new. I enjoyed putting my gloves on. I was fighting. I wouldn't be fighting sparring partners in the gym. I'd fight everyone at my front garden. So basically, I'd literally fight everybody in my area, older, younger. I'd spar with them in the front garden, and that's how we all was as mates and as young kids. And we used to fight each other, and that's how it started.
So talking amateur, what sort of amateur pedigree would you say you are?
Well, see, amateurs when I was a kid, like the Olympics and things, I was always like made for the pros, rock and ready, rough and tough, slip slide hook, right hands. And back then when I was amateur, it was fencing. It was a fencing game, and I wasn't really too good at the fencing, the point scoring. But if it was how it was now, I'm pretty sure I'd done well in the Olympics. But it's not how it is. It wasn't how it is now. Now it's like 3-3s. It's more suited to like the amateurs. Is more like, I'd say, like the pro sort of regime of fighting. It's a lot sharper, obviously, and a lot more faster. But it would have suited me down to the ground. But as in, I had a good pedigree. I had won 7 nationals. I was the 10th in history to win the 4 school WES, junior ABAs and NABC, a senior ABAs. I had my career was 50 fights, 5 losses, and about 30 knockouts in my career as an amateur.
It's not bad. How old was you when you turned over to pro?
I turned pro at 18. Yeah, 18 years of age. Yeah, I was still with Tony Sims as when I was training with West Ham as well. Training with Tony Sims at the time. I remember it.
What was that like with Tony Sims back then?
It's how it is now, really. He's like a father figure, like dad to me, really. He still is like dad to me. He guides me right out. So actually, people think he's a great trainer, he's good at what he does in the gym, but he's also a good man. He helps you outside the ring. If you're struggling with certain things, he guides you in the right way. He's a good bloke.
2003, you made your debut at Goresbrook in Dagenham, which is obviously no longer there.
Yep.
You had your first 3 fights in Dagenham. What was the support like?
Yeah, it was mental. It was overwhelming. I always had a good support, sort of goodish sort of support as an amateur. I always filled venues up, and if I was there, everyone knew that it would be there. I remember being a young kid and filling up venues as a young kid. But being like a West Ham fighter as well, and being a West Ham supporter, being from Dagenham, the whole Dagenham turned up, the venue was chock-a-block. People couldn't get in the place. It was rammo.
What was it like being 18 and having the world at your feet? As you had such a decent amateur pedigree, people were looking at you and people were expecting big things. What was it like boxing in your hometown for the first 3 fights?
It was big. Also, but people don't understand, you're an 18-year-old kid and you have to deal with the pressure. But I enjoyed it. I liked it. I enjoyed the pressure at times. It was all good, and dealing with it wasn't hard. Really. I just took it one step at a time. You know, I just wish I had the team around me back then that I have got now. And if that was the case, everything, my lifestyle as a fighter would have been totally different. But I've got to say, my last 2 years as a fighter has been my happiest time of my whole career.
Is that any reason?
I'd say it's being with the right team. I suppose it's about being with Tony. I suppose it's about being with Eddie. It's about being with the boys in the gym. It's just naturally just took his toll. It's just the way it's gone. And perhaps a bit of age and maturity himself.
When you first turned over, who was your promoter and your manager?
Promoter and manager was Frank Warren at the time. I was 18 years, about 12 years ago now.
And how long was you with Frank until obviously you left him?
I was with Frank for about 10 years, 10 years I'd say, yeah. Quite a long time.
How old was you when you won your first title?
I was 21, yeah.
And what title was that?
I think it would have been the IBF Intercontinental. You take me back now, I'm forgetting, yeah. But it would have been
it was the IBF Intercontinental.
No, it was the IBF Intercontinental Championship, but the actual belt was the
Super Featherweight as well.
Yeah, Super Featherweight. It was the international belt. Yeah, I remember it now, yeah.
And what was that like, winning that?
I boxed the French national champion and I beat him easy on points. It was good, it was nice. I'm pretty sure it was in the Excel Centre. It was good, you know, it was just part and parcel, like first hard test sort of thing at a level. Felt a bit of pressure on me again, I had to deal with it sort of thing, but I dealt with it, I beat a good kid and beat him easily on points.
And what was the training situation? Who was your trainer at the time as well, when you were the one that title at 21?
Training about them up, probably would have been either, pretty sure it would have been Paul Cook back then. My first trainer was Johnny Ems, who's a good man, yeah. Then I went with Tunde Ajaya, and then ended up back with Paul Cook, which was one of my amateur trainers when I was a kid.
And then obviously Jimmy Tibbs and...
Then I went with Jimmy Tibbs, had a few years with Jimmy, moved on from Jimmy, went to Tony Sims, yeah.
Obviously, we can talk about when you won the first title, but really up to when you fought Michael Katsidis,
yeah,
you obliterated everyone. And then obviously Upton Park was jumping that day, and it just didn't really go well for you. What happened and why did it happen?
I think the story's been told loads of times, you know. It was the lifestyle I was living back then. I was a bit of a young kid, a bit inexperienced in my living ways. I was out partying all the time, chasing the parties out all the time, every weekend, trying to train with it. I just wasn't living the life of an athlete or a fighter like we do now. This day and age, fighters this day and age are totally different to how we lived back then. We used to follow the likes of Ricky Hatton and Kawasaki's, and we used to train hard and we'd party hard. But obviously, some can get away with it and some can't. Obviously, I didn't get away with it. I was also partying during training as well, which wasn't a good thing.
So how comes you, if you were living that lifestyle, how comes that you was knocking everyone out up until the Katsidis fight? Do you think it's because you thought, obviously, I can party and knock these people out, I can party and knock Katsidis out as well? Yeah,
most definitely. And also, I know before the Katsidis fight, I was partying hard. Up until the Katsidis fight, I was partying like 3 weeks before the fight. I'd look going on with my personal life with my family. I was obviously split up with the lady I was with at the time, the baby's mum, and I was going a bit wonky and off the rails, as I'd say, and I learnt by my mistakes massively. I learnt in front of the hard way. I said in front of 24,000 people watching.
Looking back on it, do you think it was the right decision to step into the ring that night at Upton Park?
For me, yeah, I went back down. Looking back now, if I had that fight now, I had the problems I was going through now, which I never could because I've got Tony around me now, but I'd naturally back down myself now and think, no, I'm not ready for this guy. I could beat this kid, but being the way I am at the minute, I'm not ready. But back then I was too headstrong. I thought nobody could beat me, and and I took the fight and got chinned.
And then obviously you had 2 fights in between. You beat John Murray with the 8th round knockout, and there was the other fight. I can't remember exactly what it was.
I'm pretty sure I knocked out the guy at Wembley and lifted him off his feet with an uppercut.
You remember that one, didn't you?
Yeah, I remember that one. It was a good shot, but took him out. No, that might have been out before that. I thought I had a big long layoff, 15-month layoff. Then I fought John Murray.
And then
I knocked him out, and then
there was another guy, and then you fought Ricky Burns.
There might have been another guy. Yeah, I'm not pretty sure who.
Oh well, it's no.
Yeah, no. I fought John. He was a good friend of mine. I fought him on the basically on the chances I beat him. I think they all thought I was crazy because I had 15 months off. I thought I had 15 months off. Come back and I said I want John Murray. He was demolishing everyone. He's ranked #1 in the world. He's the longest unbeaten record in the world. But I just knew with John as a star around there, I knew I could beat him. Took the fight and I didn't get the shot with didn't get the shot I wanted against Rios, so it was a bit of a letdown, but it was one of them things. I got offered a long time after that to want to fight Katsidis and Ricky Burns. I got offered in a meeting. I said I want the Burns fight. I don't want the Katsidis fight for the same money to fight Burns. But back then I was still half partying. I went 100% in the game. I was half playing the game. I was half partying. half training, half partying, and I was training. And then, long story short, they said, but me and Ricky couldn't fight each other, so that didn't happen. And then I said, well, I'm not fighting casinos for that money. I want a lot of money from fighting after being chinned by him.
Yeah.
And I just generate a big crowd. As you get older, you get a little bit wiser to the sport and know what you're worth, don't you? And from then, I went for about 8 or 9 months without fighting. Obviously, I wasn't training until I was that partying. And get a call up, do you want to fight Ricky Burns? You go skint as you do, your money dries up. And took the fight with Ricky Burns. Looking back now, that was a stupid mistake. I should never have done it. Thinking I could beat Ricky and things like. Ricky lives like an athlete, man. I trained with Ricky now for 2 or 3 years, but Ricky trains like an athlete. He's got me training like it now. And to think back then that I thought I could fight the likes of Ricky Burns was insane. But I got beat then again, I think within 4 rounds.
What was that night like?
It was a nerve-wracking night, because I think when I was coming closer to the fight, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about Ricky, and I was thinking, you know what, this kid's been fighting back to back, he's regular fighting, and I'm thinking about things, and thinking as I'm getting older, maturing about things, thinking, I've been on the piss for 2 years. I thought like I've been out drinking for 2 years and been absolute nulls, and not really been a sportsman. I should have been an athlete. And going into the fight, I'd give it my all as I would do. I'd go out on my shield, you know. I don't go out and try and tip around because I think I'm going to get beat, so I go out and try and lose some points. I go out and try and give them all, give the fans a good night, and if I got chin, I got chin, and that night I got chin.
Well, after that Ricky Burns fight, do you think that was the turning point in your career? Did you think, all right, I need to do something now if I want to win a world title?
I thought that was the end of my career. I thought I was ready to quit. That I hated the sport. I proper hated the sport. I didn't like the sport one bit. I didn't enjoy nothing in the sport. I didn't enjoy none of the negotiating with contracts. I didn't feel like I was getting paid what I deserved. I didn't feel like I was with the right people around me. I didn't feel like a strong team that supported me for me. And in the end, I just hated it. And I started training again. So I started working. I didn't mind working. I enjoyed working more. I did training. I was having a right good life with my friends working and that. And then I suppose I went to a point where I was thinking about certain things. And I was thinking, I can do this. And I thought, I know I can do this. I've been in a long career. Why give up now if I can't have work hard and do it properly and try and get back to my best? So that's what I did. I went down. I had times where I thought I had to leave Frank. I need to leave part ways with Frank, and we left. We left on an handshake, and we left it there and then, and we parted ways. And I had a meeting with Eddie, and it's been 2 or 3 years now. It's been great. I've been really happy myself with the people in the gym. It's been brilliant. It's been really good.
What was it like with Eddie? What's different than obviously when you was with Frank?
I think Frank's just. I think when I was there, is it long in the tooth? Frank's been in the game for a long time. Like Frank, I'd imagine when he was in his younger days, was passionate about his fighters. Over the years, it has this wear on you. Frank's a businessman and he's a good businessman. But I look at Eddie, and Eddie's young. He's happy. He loves his fighters. He's got a lot of excitement in his fighters. And he actually, when you watch him, I used to watch him with my dad, and my dad used to say that Eddie Earn. You can tell how much he loves his fighters from just watching ringside, how happy he is for them. Yeah. And then that's the difference with Eddie. Eddie's my good friend as well. And
Tony Sims, obviously, went back to Tony Sims as well at that point. What was the first fight you had under Eddie and Tony?
First fight, God. Especially quite a bit of a laugh, because I said to Eddie, give me a few fights, let me get warm back into it, let me train hard with Tony and get back into it, and we'll take a big fight. But anyway, never forget it was on the scales. Johnny Ryder's kid gets on the scales, and he's got grey hair, and I whispered into Eddie Earn's ear, I go, Ed, couldn't you get me someone with grey hair? Laughing, and Eddie goes, you watch your kid gets on. And he looked at me and went, Kev, your kid looks about 12, like laughing, messing around. So I went, very true, Eddie, very true. But I had a few warm-up fights to get myself back in the swing of things, and it was good, you know. My first fight with Eddie was at York Hall. Then my second fight, I'm pretty sure, was in Liverpool. I had one after that. I think it was at the XL, and then we was in banging for a few big fights, and it just went from there. It's been really good.
The last sort of, I'd say, minor slip-up was when you fought with Duma, and there was the weight issue. What happened there?
Oh, that was it. Basically, over the years, it was my mistake, mine and Tony's mistake, really. Was not allowed to put on no more than £10, but I think it's the IBF, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, IBF it was, the IBF.
But I never remembered that. I never remembered them rules. So basically, the show got to me. It's like, so basically they weighing at 9.9. You'd have to put £10 on the between the weighing
and
night,
the fight night, yeah.
and the fight morning. And from the fight morning you can go up to another, put on all weight you want to do. But I come in a pound and a bit over, which was stupid of me really not checking my weight. But the way the show was so big and so much going on,
Yeah.
I just generally forgot about it. Don't get me wrong, I was in the hardest fight in my career there, but Maduma, to be honest, he's the best kid I've ever been in with. Even part of the ones I've been beating. He's the only kid I've ever been in front of and been with my hands in front of him and thought I'm at my depth here. He's the only kid. And I knocked him out late basically due to his weight.
What was so good about Maduma?
And speed, combinations, power, he had it all. He had it all but one thing, and I think his weight was wrong. I think he should have gone up a weight, which he has now gone up a weight, and I think he'll do great things, that kid.
You called it. So after the Maduma fight, what was next? Was it there was one in Estrada, wasn't there?
I'm pretty sure there's one, then Daniel Estrada, Maduma, then there was one, then Daniel Estrada, there might have been one, it might have been straight Daniel Estrada, I'm not sure.
Maybe. But either way, Daniel Estrada for the WBC Eliminator, what happened there?
Well, he was a good fight. He's been in with Figueroa and gave him all the troubles in the world, and Figueroa stopped him in the I think the round after I did. But me and Tony, as I said, we're working great, training hard, living the life, and got in there and just tore him apart. I think, to be fair, it's the most happiest night of boxing in the boxing I've ever been in a fight like that.
You look sharp that night.
Yeah, I was on form. Yeah, I was on form, and I boxed well and knocked him out. Walked into a lot of shots. Well, I stopped him on his feet, but yeah, he walked into a lot of shots, a lot of heavy shots. Got the job finished.
But obviously, we've got to talk about it. The last time it happened, the Linares fight.
Jorge Linares, yep.
What? Obviously, it wasn't your fault what went wrong. You done everything you could. You knocked him down. The freeweight world champion. You were winning the fight.
Yeah.
You got cut. And who do you blame that night? Do you blame the doctors, or who do you blame? Who's to blame for that?
I think no one's to blame. It's the fight game, isn't it? We can't blame people and point a finger at people and think, oh, this is that. Don't get me wrong, I should be sitting there, should be WBC world champion now, but I'm not, so who cares? I'm back to the drawing board and I'm back in the gym working hard, getting ready for another title fight, hopefully after the new year. But there's nobody to blame you, and blame you, point at him, there's no point. It's a part of the game, you know, mistakes happen. I was winning the fight, I was in with the best lightweight in the world, I think he's the best out of a lot of them, and I was beating him. The only things that I am a little bit upset about is that it wasn't pulled on his head clashes. So I had two cuts over the right eye. The little eye was the worst one. People thought the big one was the worst one, but the right eye was the little one. That was the worst one. One on my ridge bone and the big one on my left eye. He wasn't pulled once for using his head. But that's the only thing that I'm looking back at the fight now, I'm not happy with. But part and parcel of the game, as you do, you wipe yourself down and get yourself back down again.
When you was in that fight with Linares and you had to take that knee, what was you thinking in your head? What was going through your mind?
When I was rock and rolling down, as I said, the big eye started swelling over, and that was my vision. The right eye was the worst one because I had two cuts on my eyelid from the head clashes. So that one had blood in it all the time. That's just part and parcel of the game, innit? And this one come over, so when I was down, I was thinking, last thing I need to be doing is lift my head up to try and get a see of him, and then get nailed with a big right hand. So what I thought is I'll take my knee, and I thought I'll be alright, I'm still winning anyway, and I'll just take my knee, I'll spin around and get up and I'll be alright. But then the doctor looked at me and he said along the line, I can't remember what it was, exactly what he said, but it's along the lines of your face is a mess. And you couldn't complain to the ref, my face was a mess, but then when it stopped 2 rounds or 3 rounds before by the doctor, I'll be world champion now. But then, as was said, you can't think, oh, it's his fault, it's just the way the life rolls, isn't it? It's the way the life takes us.
It's true. You've had a lot of, like I said, you had a lot of misfortune, and then obviously the partying, which is no one's fault but your own.
My own, yeah.
What's now going to happen? Are you stopped partying completely? Are you fully focused?
I go out very rarely now, but basically back then I was like more sort of, I've been to drinks, rehabs and things, I've seen people about drinking. I was basically like an alcoholic back then. But as in, like now, if I have a drink, it'd be very rare. Like last before this one, I'd done 10.5 months without having a beer. And now again, I won't drink until for a long time now, again after like for a year or so. But like I will drink, but very, very rarely now, like instead of how I used to drink.
It's good, and hopefully it works. And
it will work, definitely. I wouldn't win the world title. I look at the lightweight division. I'm in the gym with Ricky Burns every day, he's my mate, and he's got to be borderline in the shot soon as well. But I've got to be one of the bigger threats in the lightweight division in a minute. I ain't stupid to what I am. Back 2 years ago, a year ago, no I wasn't, but for now I'm in the mix now, and I'm happy for that.
When you look back on, obviously you fighting Katsidis and Ricky Burns for the WBO lightweight title, When you look
what people don't understand is the WBO lightweight title against Casillas was WBO interim. It wasn't even a title fight. So I've only ever fought for the world title twice. Once Ricky Burns and once Jorge Ramirez.
Nice. Okay. When you look at the people that Terry Flanagan's fought to get his world title, obviously Zepeda and then Magdaleno, do you think that you could have beat them?
Yeah, most definitely. They're fights I'd definitely win. But besides the point bad mouthing Terry Flanagan, there's no need to bad mouth him. He's world champion. That's a good thing. He's done what we all want to do. So good luck to him. But he's not fought the opponents I've fought, like Prescott's, and been in the big fights I've been in. But even near there, he's still world champion. That's all counts.
It's true. Hopefully you will be one day as well.
I'm hoping next year I'll get a world title, definitely. Next season it'll be definite. I've been saying that for about 3 seasons now, but yeah, hoping.
Alright then, mate. Well, I know you want to watch your little boy play football. He's just over there.
Yep.
So I'm going to let you get on with it. But
cool.
Best of luck in the future. Best of luck with training and no more parties until you've got that world title, alright?
Definitely, yep.
Alright, top man. Thanks for coming to our film. Cheers.